Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I'm with the coach, John Brent.
And I'm here with the vet, Mr. Ian Griffin, and it is football time. Did you see that this weekend was football? Wow.
Yes, it's about damn time. About damn time.
I know,
so
life is good.
So we're just going to say this. The first week, we're just going to say that that's everybody coming out. It's a little coming out party. They all dress all cute, look nice. But now the other 16 games of the season is what matters now. Because really it doesn't mean the Hill of Beans first game too much, except those tight races. And we got a lot of people excited. This is the time of year that everybody's team's the greatest thing on earth. And I don't know if that's the case or not, to be honest. But I think it's going to be a good year for us Dallas Cowboys. Although you're trying to rain on my parade.
Oh, my God. I'm telling you, you don't want to know my prediction.
Oh, yes. So we just got to talk about
right now what I have noticed is Cowboys fans are always at the beginning of the year, there's their year, their team, whatever. But now I'm hearing the same crap from the Cleveland Browns fans. Like, this is the year the Cleveland Browns going to win the Super Bowl. And when I first heard that, I thought, are you serious? Tell me.
So let me say this about the Cleveland Browns. I'll go say a couple things. The year Baker Mayfield was drafted, I said this alone. I said, out of all those quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield was the one I would draft. Why? Because he hates losing. The rest of them, they just put up big numbers and they won a lot. But you could see it in him that he hated losing. So that's the first thing I'll say. I got to watch them play, and they played the Chiefs on their high road. And they got beat as Baker's early year, But didn't they make it to the championship last year, or did they make it to the game right before that? They made it to the AFC championship.
I think it was.
They lost to the Bills.
Well, they made it to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and
it was
lost
close to the Chiefs, but it was 22-17, something like that. It was really close.
Yeah, I think they're a force to be reckoned with because I'm going to be honest with you. I honestly don't think anybody else in that damn division of those four teams is worth the crap. I think Steelers are overrated, and I think Lamar Jackson's still a high school quarterback that has a great season, and he gets in there and plays with the big boys in the playoffs, and reality hits. That's just me. So
well, I'm gonna tell you right now, my man George Bates' team. I'm telling you, that's the team that I would be worried about the most. Is finally coming over the hump. Is the Tennessee Titans. They loaded up. They're already a good team. They got the best running back. Their quarterback's been playing great. Their defense is stout. They played great against the Chiefs. They played great against the Ravens. And now they added some wide receivers. That's the team that I'm really thinking if anybody has a chance to get to beat the Chiefs from going to the Super Bowl, I think it's the Titans. But we can get into all this. But I'm telling you right now, your Dallas Cowboys will not win more games than they lose.
Oh, I don't agree with that. I don't see that.
Yeah, I'll put some money on that. How about a steak dinner? I'll put a steak dinner on that.
I'll bet a Coke on it. I'm not a big betting man. But what I'll say is this. The Cowboys will go in, and I will say this is the Cowboys will go as far as that offensive line will take them. And if it's healthy.
Or their quarterback playing.
Oh, their quarterback will be fine. He's going to be a top 5 quarterback this year. I know you don't like him, but I don't care. He'll be all right.
All right, I'm going to say it. Dak Prescott will be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC East.
Yeah, that's cute. But I'll say this is, since we're talking about the NFC East, I think the only competition he has. Now, I will say this, is I do think there's some new ism with Jalen Hurt, and he'll surprise some people with that. Kind of like how RG3 came in. Nobody was ready for that. So he'll get some victories out of all that, but it won't be nothing serious. I think, to be honest, is the Washington football team, I don't know who their quarterback is, but they got a defense. But I think the Cowboys can step on it this year. And but that's just me. I say it every year until we play a few games and we see how it pans out and see who gets hurt and who just doesn't live up to expectations and all those things. But I think they're the team for there. That's just me. You talked about the AFC side, and we'll get into that in a minute. But I don't see anybody else really doing it unless there's some major injuries. I don't see Philadelphia and Washington. I don't see New York doing it unless there's some injuries, and then they'll do it. So that's just me. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Coach?
Well,
Just that you want to rank Dak as number 5.
Right now, you are right. Well, we'll get into Dak later, but Ryan Fitzgerald is actually the quarterback of the Washington football team, and their defense is stout. And Fitzpatrick is perfect for that situation because he knows how to win by winning a 17-14 game or 20-17 game. He's that kind of quarterback. And in the NFC East, there's not going to be a lot of scoring. I don't care what anybody says. It's always who makes the least amount of mistakes, 4-3 on turnovers wins that game. Yeah. Because the last few years, the East has been the least. And I don't think it's going to be any different. I mean, I really don't. It's not anything bad against the football team that I love the most that I bleed with the Cowboys. I just don't believe that they're anywhere close to making a run in the playoffs or making a Super Bowl. But winning the East this year, I believe it's going to be between the Cowboys and the Redskins. But I really think it's going to come down again. And I hate to say it. I mean, there's 17 games now. I think a team that can do it could be a team that can win it. Could be 8 wins can win that division. 9 wins will for sure win that division, if you ask me. It's just that's what it's going to be. But I'm so beat down on my Dallas Cowboys. Every year that it's the offensive line or it's this or it's that. The culture is a losing culture there right now, and the losing culture starts from the top, and it's Jerry Jones down. It's a losing culture. It's been a losing culture for 25 years.
I don't dispute that about the culture. And I'm hoping Mike McCarthy gets off the pot and does something this year. But let me say this about Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick is the great quarterback if you want 4 games out of him. And then after 4 games, the other Fitzpatrick, comes out and we see what he's about. But if you if you got a fantasy league and the first game's coming out and Fitzpatrick's about to start his 4 weeks, you hook him up for 4 weeks and you'll be all right. After those 4 weeks, you better drop him like a hot potato because he ain't doing nothing after that. And that has been his legacy. You know, if you want somebody, he's the Nick Foles. Just throw him in there for 4 games and you'll be all right. So, hey, we got to move on though, Coach. I'll say that. And let's go to the NFC North, which you have Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit, and Chicago. In all actuality, it's always been Green Bay's ballpark up there. It always has. I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan. I think he's cocky, arrogant. He won a Super Bowl, and we ain't seen shit out of him since. It is what it is. He gets the privilege of playing on the stepchildren up there that never produce anything, and he's played them over and over and over and over. And so he gets to easily walk in each playoff, and then he underperforms the final game. That's just me. So go ahead, Coach. What are your thoughts?
Well, and I believe that he's not happy being there all season. You hear of nothing but, Aaron Rodgers wants to leave, this, that. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen is he's probably going to start off like Aaron Rodgers, a little bit slow. They'll be behind. They'll be 3-4 or whatever. People start talking crap about him being overrated or that he's coming to the end of his, his tenure there in Green Bay, or he's too old. He might need to retire. And Aaron Rodgers is going to do what Aaron Rodgers does. He's going to turn it on at the end. He's going to make a run, and he's going to be in the playoffs and win that division. The Minnesota Vikings are probably the most talented team. I mean, that's just me saying it from a coaching standpoint, but Green Bay will end up winning that division.
Okay, so then we move to the NFC South, which has the Super Bowl champions, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who slapped your Chiefs around in the damn playoffs. The Super Bowl. You have the Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, and you have the New Orleans Saints, who does not have some guy named Drew Brees. But you have a great coach who's figured it out in his absence. I just don't think he can do it for a whole season. And so I think it is where it is. It's going to go back to Tampa Bay, to be honest, because I think Tom Brady has a second year to go. Wow, now I'm just getting used to this, and now I know it. So I think that's an easy one for him. So that's just my thoughts. What are your thoughts, Coach?
Well, I think it's just kind of like the Aaron Rodgers I said before. there's always a hangover from winning the Super Bowl. I don't care who you are, even if you repeat, or even if you can even get close to trying to three-peat. I think there's going to be a hangover. The season they'll win the first game because they play the Cowboys. No, I'm just being funny. They'll probably come out and end up being 2-2, 3-2, something like that. But in the end, when it comes down to the nut cutting down at the end, Tom Brady will win that division. Tom Brady will take that team, I believe, to the AFC Championship. Now, I do think it's interesting with the New Orleans Saints, because you are right. Sean Payton is the coach that we should have had 10 years ago, because he's that kind of guy. He's a winner. We had a chance to get him, and we didn't take it. Huge mistake. But I tell you, you're right. That's kind of interesting. I want to see how good that team is.
So then we go to the NFC West, and for me personally, I think the NFC West has the best division in all NFL, and I think the NFC West is kind of like back in the day, 30 years ago. The NFC East is they beat the hell out of each other, and then they're limping in the playoffs. But each one of them, if they didn't beat the hell out of each other, probably could go to the Super Bowl. You got the Arizona Cardinals, who is stacked. You have the San Francisco 49ers, who is healthy. And San Francisco 49ers was the only team that had more injuries than the Dallas Cowboys did last year. And that took a toll on them because they were big-name people. You have the L.A. Rams, who has Matthew Stafford, and let's see what he's going to bring to the table out there. And then you have the Seattle Seahawks with the gift of DK Metcalf, who is one of my favorite wide receivers in all NFL. So I don't even know who's going to win it. I lean toward the Cardinals. I could see Seattle winning it. I could see San Francisco win it, and I could see the Rams winning. I mean, I don't know, but I could see them putting two teams in the playoffs for sure.
I think,
if not three.
Well, my heart would be, I would love for Stafford and the Rams to win, just because I've always been a Stafford fan. I know he's an upgrade over Goff. There's no doubt about that. I think a lot of people are a lot of people on board with the Cardinals going because of the quarterback there. They see him as a rising star. But when it comes down to it, I think Russell Wilson is a winner. Pete Carroll is a winner. And that defense is stout. I think you're right. They're going to beat the crap out of each other. And I actually think I know two teams from that division will make the playoffs. Maybe three will. One will win the division. There might be two of those babies making it as a wild card.
Yeah, I agree, Coach. So we got to move to the AFC real quick. And so we'll start off with the East with the Patriots, the Buffalo Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins. No wonder the Patriots went so many times, because none of the teams used to win the darn. I think it's going to be the Bills. It's the Bills' place to go. So, and then you have the North, which has –
I just think we'll put a check mark on the Bills. Yeah.
Yeah. You got Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cincinnati. I think Cleveland's going to take it. Baltimore may squeeze in. We'll see. So, I mean, what do you think, Coach?
I truly think that Baltimore will end up taking that division, because they always get a lot of wins in the regular season. I just think it's just tough to deal with. I think in that division, the Cleveland will win more games on division opponents, but I think it's so hard to deal with Lamar Jackson when you don't play him very often. And when these NFC teams have to come in and play him, and these AFC teams that don't play him a lot do, he's a nightmare. So I think they'll probably win the division outright, but I think Cleveland will beat more teams in the division. And I think Cleveland will actually go one step further in the playoffs than the Baltimore.
So then you have the AFC South, and you have Tennessee, Houston, Indianapolis, and Jacksonville. And to me, honestly, I think there's only two teams there. It's Indianapolis, but they don't have their quarterback. So it's easily going to be Tennessee. Tennessee's playing like they're playing the NFC East. They just get to beat on the easy guys. They're going to walk in, and now they got Julio Jones. So then we go to the West.
I love the receiver.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Coach.
No, I just want to say I love the receiver. I love the running back. I love the quarterback. But I tell you who I love more than anybody is the freaking head coach. I think the head coach for the Titans is a dang winner. Yeah, let's go on.
So, okay, we'll go on. So then we have the AFC West, which has the most dominant team probably the last 3 to 4 years, which was the Kansas City Chiefs. Then you had the Denver Broncos. Then you had the Vegas Raiders, and you had the Chargers. And to be honest, I see all those teams being tough, with the exception of maybe the Broncos. But I see the other ones having winning records and posturing themselves at least for the wild card. I think the Chiefs will easily run away with it. I don't doubt that. But if history hasn't ever proved something, when you're a dominant team for so many years consecutively, and they have been the dominant team for 4 years, even though they didn't win the Super Bowl 4 years, they won one, they lost one, but they were the dominant team everybody chased after. People start looking at them, people start picking them apart and start understanding them. And I see that coming this year. That's just me. I see them making the playoffs easily. I see them making a run, but I see a big old target on their chest. So go ahead, Coach.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt there's going to be a target. I truly believe they'll have most wins of anybody in the AFC. I think the Chargers are a team that's on the upswing. I like the way the Chargers play, actually. Plus, you got the Raiders with their coach, their quarterback are now having more time together. That's going to be tough. The division's not going to be a cakewalk for the Chiefs like it might have been 2 years ago. But I do think in the end, you're right. I think not only do I think the Chiefs are going to win that division, they're going to go to the AFC Championship game, but I also believe that the Chargers will make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure the Chargers will make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a lot of high regard for their quarterback, Bear there, and so that's that right there. And we only got we got about 4 minutes before we try to cut this thing off here. Okay. I think the NFL season will be very interesting, but there's always people that surprise you. There's one of those 5 and 11 teams that come up out of nowhere that's going to come and do something. And I think one of them is definitely the 49ers because they turned their unhealthy season. They had so many injuries last year. We saw it in Dallas, but it wasn't the names as big as it was, except for our quarterback. But other than that, it wasn't his names as big as it was for the 49ers. You know, I mean, they had Bosa, their quarterback, and they had other people, and you're just like, wow, is anybody not hurt on that team? I know we looked at Dallas. Was there anybody from the line that was there the first week? You know, it wasn't. And so it's kind of I think there's some teams that are easily going to be able to turn around. So that's just my
I got two turnaround sleeper teams, one from each division. I think the LA Rams will do a definite turnaround with Matthew Stafford. I think they will probably flip their win-loss. But I want to tell you this, don't ever forget the greatest coach of all time is Bill Belichick. And even though we just throw the Bills out there like that, I'm telling you right now, another year with Cam and that defense that he puts together, he's a scrappy guy. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if they make the playoffs and make a run. You never can tell with the guy.
Yeah, I agree with that. He is a crafty little SOB, to be quite honest, even though he don't like to talk much in front of the TV. Right. But so who do you think the MVP is going to be this year, Coach?
Most valuable player, I'm going with Josh Allen. So
I can see him doing it. I look at the MVP that it could be a couple of people. You know, I know right now that the news reporters have already given it to Aaron Rodgers. He hadn't thrown a pass. He'll probably throw 6 interceptions first game, break his leg, and can't walk after that. And they'll still give it to him because that's how news reporters are. But I can see Josh Allen get it. I can see Baker Mayfield get it if they do a deep run. I could see several people.
The reason I say that is I think the odds-on favorite to win it, as long as he's young and still playing like he is Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the number 1 player in the NFL. But I do think at different times, most valuable player, when you're at a team that's already going to win 13, 14 games, it seems like every year, someone like Josh Allen that can bring that team up, bring that city up, bring that division up and away from the Belichick, and have a great year with the weapons he has. That might be a more valuable player, maybe not the best player. Aaron Rodgers, come on, man. He's definitely a top 5 quarterback, but he's not up there with come on now. Dak's 11, but Aaron Rodgers is
5. Yeah, I don't know about all that. But anyway, so moving on. So I think it's going to be interesting. So who do you think will be the comeback player of the year? Because there's a couple of them out there. And Dak is in that category, but there's a couple others that were in there, that are coming back.
I'm going to go with the guy that I'm going to go with the guy that doesn't do a lot for me mostly, but I'm going to go with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I can say on the other side of the ball, the Bosa fella.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I'll be honest, I think he'll pick up where he left off. I think he's a shoe-in for that, to be honest. It's not really a shoe-in, but I think it would be easier for him to come right back where he left off than anybody else would. That's just me.
Yeah.
So
Well,
who do you think the coach of the year is going to be?
that's interesting. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say the Washington football team's coach. I can't think of his name right now. Why am I not thinking of his name right now? Ron Rivera. That's who I'm going with.
So it's coach. Stipulated with Ron Rivera. If Ron Rivera wins the East, he'll be the coach of the year. If he don't win the East, he's not going to be the coach of the year. I'm just throwing that out there. But
I'm telling you, steak dinner, they're winning it.
I'll do a steak dinner on the East. But so I think, to be honest, if the Cleveland Browns do a deep run again, I think that guy will be the coach of the year. I can't think of his name, but I think that. So anyway, hey, it's a fun time. It's exciting. Everybody's excited. Everybody wants to punch each other in the throat about their teams and such. So, I'm excited. Go ahead, Coach.
Super Bowl pick. Don't forget it. Who we got?
So that's a hard one for me because I try to be a realist and not just a fan, but my fan takes over sometimes. Yeah. This is what I say in the NFC. I don't think the Green Bay Packers will get over the bar. So I take the NFC North out, okay? The only team is Tampa Bay in the South. That could happen. And they got a great receiving core too. So that could very well happen. The West, I think there's a lot of good teams there, but I think they're going to be so damn beat up that it's not going to happen. And I think my Cowboys are going to be in the East. And I'm going to say this. If the Cowboys have to go through Green Bay, they won't get in at Green Bay. If they get to play them at home, they got a shot. I think they can handle the West without Seattle, but Seattle is a nemesis to them. So I got to go with Tampa Bay, and I hate to say that, but I think Seattle could do it too. I don't know. I don't think anybody's really strong enough to overtake Tampa Bay. And so to me, it comes down to three teams in the AFC. I know you mentioned the Titans, George Bates. Go get your goddamn freaking Pittsburgh Steelers towels and cry on them because the Titans ain't going to go. I'm just throwing it out there. It's going to be either the Bills, it's going to be the Browns, but it will most likely be the Chiefs. It will be one of those three. That's my feelings.
Well, I'm throwing it out there. We don't have a lot of time, so mine's going to be pretty easy. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
That'd be a good game. That will be a good game. I love Russell Wilson. I think he's a class act. I think everything about him is what a sportsman should be. So we're going to have to get Coach and call it a day. So I'm going to say from the coach
to the vet.
Stay tuned.